Hello and welcome to Spring Commander Forged Alliance. Here is a classic 3599. We got Jughurta here, better known as Zidge or Zidge. Very good player, playing as UEF. He is taking on Zingaro, who is better known as Lucian, so the current Imba Cup champion. But this is, of course, a old 3599 game, so no first air from him. We do see him playing as UEF as well, two land factories and 3 T1 power generators. That's quite a few given the very close Hydra. There are some rocks in this game. I'll definitely speed through this first part. It's a rather large map, so you can see the main body here, separated with 2 rivers and 4 mass extractors plus some rocks on these islands that you want to capture with early drops. You can also walk an engineer here all the way to this edge, build some factories on there, but that takes much longer. Navy builds are also, well, not builds, but eventual navies here could be very powerful. Looks like 5 power generators here for Jughurta, and second land as well. So both players go on 2 land, 1 extra Tech 1 power generator for Zingaro here is going a 3rd air. Quite a few Tech 1 power generators, and you can see he just took those rocks. There's also a few more rocks scattered all over this map. One other important thing in this map, there are a few wrecks here in the middle. It's 2 equivalent spots. It looks like Zingaro is going to be there first. So we'll see. That should give him a pretty good mass boost. The earlier you get that mass from reclaims, the more it's worth. It's a bigger fraction of your total economy. And you can see there's absolutely no engineers there from Jughurta. Completely ignoring it. Looks like he is going with 2 3rd and 4th air here from Jughurta. And see how quickly we can get these drops. Perhaps we do see a bomber now coming out for Zingaro. See how that turns out, and quite a few land factories as well. So only 1 air factory plus interceptors for Zingaro, 2 air factories from Jughurta. And here comes a mech marine fight, first kills of the game, and you can see it went to Jughurta and this mech marine from Lucian running away. No raider with this group at all, though. We're seeing some kills for the ACU, cleans up another raiding group. Here comes a bomber from Zingaro. He's coming in, he's going to fly into some interceptors. So no kills for that bomber unless he can drop off a bomb real quick. Nope. Good defense from Jughurta. Should see drops soon. No, it's just purely interceptor spam. So it looks like Jughurta wants to first get air control and then do the drops. Some sneaky mech marines here from Jughurta. So both players UEF, very similar gameplay. Aggressive mech marines and scouts, and a pretty big land spam is planned for Zingaro. We do see a transport now from Zingaro. See what he picks up. Could be dangerous with all these planes. And here comes the transport from Jughurta. He's going to take this bottom expansion first. There's an interceptor close to the transport, but doesn't look like you can see it. Most likely will die before it even has a chance. This should be a successful drop here. And you can see aggressive mech marines on either side from Jughurta. Looks like at least one of these groups is going to be successful, killing an engineer. And a pretty big tank push here from Zingaro. He's going to kill a few engineers and mass extractors trying to get control of this top base. A lot less Tech 1 land factories for Jughurta than Zingaro. You can see it is all out Tech 1 land spam here from Zingaro. And looks like 2 drops for the same spot here from 2 players. Already a factory established for Jughurta. And tanks coming out. Some tanks from Zingaro. It's a 2v1. It looks like these tanks made a mistake. Instead of killing this tank first, they went after the engineers. This will be trouble. We'll probably see some artillery coming out here soon, plus some radar. On the other side, we see a drop from Jughurta. So in terms of taking these expansions, big advantage. We just missed a massive force here from Zingaro. Looks like he dropped it in behind Jughurta's base, and that's going to be devastating. You see, this was these are all just Tech 1 mass extractors, but some power is killed. We see Tech 1 bombers trying to counter, but so far really nice raiding here from Zingaro in terms of the mainland, but he's completely given up the expansions. This artillery with 4 kills going after power. This could be pretty devastating if you could take out the Hydra. It doesn't look like he's targeting it. Hydra on these power generators would be a very good move from Zingaro. There could be trouble on the mainland for Jughurta. He does have his ACU. It's a Tech 2 ACU. He's got some Tech 2 PDs, another force moving in. But looks like it will be intercepted by the Tech 2 PDs, but maybe a few of the units will get in. We can see the defense here, some walls, Tech 1 PDs behind protecting. We see a retreat from Zingaro and 2 different land forces here. Pretty big Tech 1 bomber spam, and as long as these units keep moving, looks like Zingaro is microing them. They'll be able to dodge a lot of those bombs. Also some Tech 1 and flak in this group. Some direct hits there from those bombers. But definitely lots of trouble all over the place for Jughurta. He's getting basically encircled by his enemy's units. These expansions are very secure though for Jughurta. Take a pretty big drop to take back because the land factories are established on both of those islands. It looks like Jughurta is going to get some more Tech 2 point defenses to try to force these units away. It's a lot of engineers, but it'll be very hard to expand to this. We also see Tech 2 land coming out now for Zingaro, plus the ACU being aggressive. We see multiple Tech 1 land factories still producing. Not all of them. We see a single Tech 2 land factory look like missiles. It's a pretty secure area, Tech 1 point defense factory. So one good thing about these expansions, they're very good starting points for any drops, and we just saw a drop actually. Artillery dropped from the top island. See how much damage it can do in Zingaro's base. Zingaro already has a response. We see some Tech 2 power. It looks like Tech 3 air is planned for Zingaro. Looks like artillery only take out 1 mass extractor and they're going to get killed before they can do any more. Now looking at the map, 2 forces on either side of Jughurta's base. He's got a single Tech 2 power generator. Still only Tech 1 air. Multiple factories making Tech 1 air. Making some Tech 2 mass extractors. And Tech 2 land, some Tech 2 engineers coming out. But this is a very formidable force here. Now we see a cruise missile launcher from Zingaro. Shields and a lot of Tech 1 plus Tech 2 flak. So we can see here a successful defense. Really, this mass extractor rebuilt right away, so not a very effective drop there from Jughurta. A lot of Tech 1 interceptors. It looks like pillars is the choice for Jughurta here. And this main force getting pretty close. Actually, the ACU for Jughurta attacking this force and an engineer here from Zingaro trying to take advantage of these mass extractors. Already got 4 of them, getting the 5th, 6th, getting some land factories. But it will be attacked by some Tech 2. It looks like a Tech 2 PD creep from these engineers. Multiple Tech 2 engineers, but a Tech 2 force coming in to reinforce. And we can see now a few of these land factories being destroyed by Zingaro. He's just switching to all out Tech 2 land spam. Still a few Tech 1, and here come Tech 3 fighters from Zingaro. That might give him a possibility to take air back, and this is a pretty big push now from Zingaro. Jughurta retreats. He planned some Tech 2 point defenses, but lost quite a few engineers in the process. Still, these pillars will prevent any more aggression from either player, but that was a very good response from Zingaro to Jughurta's attempt to recapture one of his expansions. I see cruise missiles now coming in. See what the targets are. Some Tech 2 mass extractors here. It looks like it'll be a successful snipe. I think that was actually a Tech 1. Of course, the Tech 2 power right here would be a great target. No TMD there. Another mass extractor is destroyed. We're seeing mobile missile launchers attacking, going after Tech 2 point defenses, and this could be big trouble for Jughurta. If he loses his Tech 2 point defenses, he will be ran over. Big superior numbers there for Zingaro. More Tech 2 point defenses being built. We do see a whole bunch of mongoose now from Zingaro. They gotta move out. They gotta try to kill those missile launchers. Missile launchers are being reinforced by a pretty large force here in the middle. And this could be the beginning of the end there for Jughurta. You can see his tech to land factor is getting ran over. There are a few tech to point defenses here that should be able to keep it alive, but quite a few engineers killed, so production not as effective. These 8 mass extractors that Jughurta has had on these expansion islands have really kept him in the game. But the question is for how long. We can see actually quite a nice force here, shields, and this is all tech too. And you can see Zingaro being very careful. Even though you probably just rush in, lose a few units, if you could take out that tech to land factor, it would be a huge victory. And we're seeing interceptors versus ASF. Looks like the interceptor is actually winning. Big numbers there for Jughurta, and he's going for tech 3 air himself. He's got a second tech to power. This could be a very vulnerable tech to power right here. And a tech 2 PD creep once again from Jughurta. He's going to try to get this expansion. There's quite a few tech 2 PDs. Now we see a tech 2 radar here for Zingaro. This missile launcher with 8 kills, still got a missile. And a tech 2 land standoff here on either sides of this mountain. You see the missiles shooting over. One big advantage is the shields for Jughurta, and more pillars coming out for Jughurta. And this is for the most part tech 1 force, except for a lot of these missile launchers. So in close quarters, this bottom force here from Jughurta probably have some success. All the shields are up here, but this tech 2 point defense creep looks like it will be successful. It'll have to be a retreat from Zingaro. And if Zingaro loses this base, you can see map control is kind of shifting toward Jughurta's favor, and now we see tech 3 gunships from Zingaro. Does have ASF protecting, and that means that this expansion, actually a few tech 2 mass extractors it seems. Perhaps that was tech 1. Getting killed by these gunships, 12 kills for one, 2 for the other. But now it looks like they were left alone by Zingaro. A whole bunch of interceptors coming in from Jughurta. This is going to be big losses, big chunks of mass. Quite tragic to lose broadswords like that. A nice chunk of mass if somebody wants to go there. Once again in ASF versus tech 1 interceptors. Zingaro getting some build capacity with kennels here at minute 21. And you can see these engineers recapturing the base. This is a massive force here. Looks like Zingaro took all his units and put them all together right in front of his ACU. But map control now really has shifted in Jughurta's favor. See how that economy translates into anything real. So one thing to note, those gunships forgot to kill engineers. Made it pretty easy for Jughurta to recapture this area. This is a lot of missile launchers here from Zingaro, putting a lot of pressure on this force that it has to constantly keep moving. Plus these engineers are going to be vulnerable. I see Jughurta here making a whole bunch of tech 2 point defenses under a shield. This is going to be a pretty important battle. Now these engineers are going to capture some more mass extractors, some more radar. Actually going to capture an engineer, but of course it's all UEF. More build capacity, and this cruise missile launcher keeps on firing. I'm surprised this is still alive. There isn't really too much TMD here. And another power generator there from we did see a TMD. Looks like this was the target, but this tactile missile defense here from Jughurta has saved the tech to power. More tech to power and ASF coming out for Jughurta. It looks like a transport full of units there from Zingaro. Perhaps he wants to attack some of these expansions. Looks like there was a drop here, a few dead mass ejectors. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of tanks for Zingaro. Let's see what that does. And yet another transport, so we might see a major drop here. A lot of T2 power to power that air spam. And Tech 3 coming out with Titans for Zingaro. And now still a Tech 2 standoff. Looks like a bit of retreating there from Zingaro. He's moving in with his ACU. It's a Tech 2, no gun. Could be actually dangerous for that ACU with this force here. But now we do see this Tech 3 Titan is going to reinforce this area. And this is going to be a massive drop, we can see, 4 Tech 2 transports, and actually 3 of them die. It's a good defense there, but 1 successful drop, so that's not nearly as effective as it could have been. Only 1 successful drop out of 4 for Zingaro. A lot of dead units. Now Zingaro getting some Tech 2 point defense is a bit of a creep together with these missile launchers. That is going to force this Tech 2 force to keep its distance. And if it can't get close, these missile launchers are going to do a lot of damage. Obviously Jughurta moving in as well. He's going to have to do some dancing here to avoid getting hit by the missiles. And perhaps some overcharges against the Tech 3. That was a very good move. This could be dangerous. Doesn't look like there's going to be really a chance for Zingaro to make any progress. Plenty of defense here for Jughurta, so we should see a retreat. This did allow Zingaro some chance to make more Tech 2 point defenses. Now looks like he's going for Tech 3. I see a lot of build capacity on that ACU, and some artillery, some Tech 3 artillery coming in from Zingaro. And now it looks like tanks versus engineers here for Zingaro. That's from this drop. Instead of attacking the main base, they're retreating. Actually a nice push here for looks like Zingaro just got the gun. Now he's going to go Tech 3. So counter push from Jughurta, runs into the point defenses, and some reinforcements from Zingaro. He's going to have to retreat himself. This is a back and forth battle here with Jughurta, thinking about attacking with ACU, but now will retreat. 16 kills for Jughurta. This is just a slaughter of engineers here up on top. Looks like air control is pretty firmly in. Well, it's going to be very close. A lot of ASF for both players, but Zingaro really keeping it directly over the battlefield. We are seeing artillery hitting these shields directly, which means that the engineers for Jughurta have to make some more shields to protect. Still only Tech 2 land from Jughurta. Let's see if this Tech 3 can make it can make the difference here for Zingaro. You can see these engineers coming down from Zingaro. Completely reclaimed all those trees. Eventually want to reclaim that entire base. And Tech 2 versus Tech 2 and Tech 3 here. The Mongols sneaking around the side trying to force these missile launchers back, and they're actually pretty successful. See some of these shields failing, but the new ones are being built. Jughurta is sitting here with 16 kills. Be nice to see these shields reinforce the stationary shields. And now a drop from Zingaro, and some point defenses successfully built. Not enough defense here, and if this looks like it's going to be successful, it's going to be one of these expansions is going to be given over to Zingaro, which will really even out the map control. You see these missile launchers, even if they get hit by the tactical missile defense, actually there's really not enough, forcing a lot of these shields down. It's a good work from Zingaro. See this artillery. I'm moving over. Zingaro with 1 kill. A bit of Tech 2 and Tech 3 battle here. Mongoose versus Titans, and most likely Titans will win. Although quite a few numbers there for the Mongoose. Mongoose can retreat to the Tech 2 point defenses, and the Titans also retreat. This is a successful drop now from Zingaro here at minute 31. Up on top, probably a little more difficult. Quite a few Tech 1 units. And then Tech 3 anti-air now from Zingaro. It is a Tech 3 ACU. And Tech 3 point defense from Zingaro, putting a lot of pressure on Jughurta. Jughurta trying to get Tech 3 of his own. See a lot of artillery, 4 artilleries here. Need a lot of shields to stay alive in that type of situation, plus a Tech 3 point defense. You can see those shells falling. A single Tech 3 point defense for Jughurta has been built. Not enough shields here for Zingaro. Has only got 1. And a big push here. That's a lot of pillars from Jughurta. You can see the shield is going to go down. Looks like Zingaro is going to lose a few of those artillery pieces. He's going to try to pull them back. Pretty big retreat from Zingaro. Well, actually, he's not planning on retreating. No, probably not yet. Still Tech 2 land from Jughurta. Getting more shields, but these Tech 3 point defenses are under shield, so there's really not a lot of hope for Zingaro to be able to rebuild in this area. Trying to actually repair some of his now. Getting a stealth field now. You can see how quickly the shield is losing its health. Now very even. Perhaps a slight advantage in terms of map control for Zingaro that he is a little past the middle point, which means a couple of these mass extractors aren't being used by Jughurta that Zingaro is using. This Tech 2 versus Tech 3 battle is still raging on with some engineers trying to sneak into the battle, trying to get some of that reclaim. And now you can see finally Zingaro has abandoned this base with this successful T3 point defenses from Jughurta. Now looking at Jughurta's base, you can see quite a few Tech 2 mass extractors playing. So you have Tech 2 power and a big ASF spam. It looks like T3 land finally from Jughurta, as well as Tech 2 land factory, and a T3 power coming out. For Jughurta has been having quite a few power problems here. Looks like more artillery coming in for Zingaro. He's building a new base with stealth and some Tech 3 anti-air, and Perseus. Perseus are coming in. If this force gets like 10-15 Perseus, it'd be very dangerous for Jughurta's base. Of course, we should see some experimentals coming out in this game very soon. Looking at this base, actually 2 factories going with Tech 3 making ASF, and this one's actually Tech 2 making Janus bombers, and a few of these mass extractors being taken to Tech 3 for Zingaro. Looks like Jughurta actually retook this base. Once again, we totally missed that, perhaps a drop. This artillery keeps on firing, so you can see the artillery cannot range Tech 3 PD. Of course, under a shield, it takes a long time for artillery to knock those down. Successful Tech 3 power generator now from Jughurta, making Titans and artillery of his own. And this is getting a very good looking force. For the most part, Tech 2, but with a lot of shields. So you don't want to get too close to it, but it looks like we do see a lot of Perseus. 4 Perseus and a few Titans and Mongoose coming in from Zingaro, no shields. But you can see those Perseus, they have a very powerful gun. So numbers versus tech here. Should be a very close battle. Elsewhere we see Tech 3 point defense, making this basically a no man's land. Looks like a good defense here from Jughurta. Be nice to put those on a transport, drop them in the back of Jughurta's base, but of course with ASF any kind of drops are very dangerous. And where is the ACU for Zingaro is coming back? It does have a stealth field here. And these artillery for Jughurta really turning the game back in his favor, as well as this point defense. This is still a standoff here. Quite a few ASF from Jughurta. Looks like he's scouting. We see this Janus bombers here attacking some mass extractors at this expansion for Jughurta. And their artillery, Tech 3 artillery, making slowly taking away this base from Zingaro. You can see quite a few artilleries here. This battle continues to range. A couple more Perseus, 11 kills for 1 Percy. You can see it's all the Tech 2 units in this, except maybe this Mongoose, have been killed. Some more reinforcements. And their artillery continues to destroy for Jughurta here at minute 40. New plans for Zingaro. He cannot continue this type of situation. These massive Tech 3 forces from Jughurta will make the push, and there aren't really too much defense. You can't say that just a Tech 3 force can do anything to Jughurta's base. Very good defense here. A lot of shields, a lot of Tech 3 PD. Zingaro just sitting here in the middle of the field, be a nice sniping target. And a Fat Boy now coming out for Zingaro. This is now Tech 3 power as well. So Fatty could be very interesting in this situation. You can sit here and start putting a lot of pressure on Jughurta's base. We'll see how he'll try to defend. We can see it appears that Zingaro is abandoning this front, which will allow these force from Jughurta. This is a very good looking force. Maybe get some map back. Looks like he is going to move. Maybe a little closer, so slowly he does this. And this fatty actually, it looks like he's going to this position. He's going to try to win this front. He's not going to attack really the main expansion from Jughurta. A lot of very valuable targets, Tech 3 land, Tech 3 power. And of course these artillery is very valuable for Jughurta. Fatty is getting close. We see a stealth field here from Zingaro, some Tech 3 power. So Zingaro is thinking that he might have to start fighting here in the middle of the map. Make a secret fire base, and here's the fatty making his first shots. See the shield's going down. Looks like we're going to see aggression from Jughurta. He's not going to retreat. He's going to try to get as close as he can to this fatty. We see a pretty good defense here for that fatty, however. This is not a good situation for Jughurta's army. These Percies are not dying, they're just shooting. At least perhaps one Percy will die, but this fatty now with 11 kills. And this force really moving in their own direction. It should be moving toward the experimental, but it's just moving. It is all just going to die. It's going to be a lot of dead units here from Jughurta. This is good work from that fatty. That's going to make this front very weak. Once Zingaro finishes killing off this Tech 2 force, he can start attacking. It'll be big trouble for Jughurta. He is pushing with his artillery force, attacking these Percies here. Still a few engineering stations and anti-air left from that Zingaro base. Looks like a successful defensive mission. We're going to see engineers get a lot of mass here, a lot of good Tech 2, Tech 3 wrecks. And yet another retreat here from Zingaro. We should see a fatty. Yes, we do see a fatty now from Jughurta. So it should be a 1v1. We are seeing more Tech 3 power from Zingaro. He has got a lot, pretty big spam here for Percies. Let's see what he can do in terms of countering. Actually, good work from these engineers. They're gonna try to get their dead friends back, at least their wrecks. Reuse that mass. Most likely won't work. We can see a nice push with these Percies and Titans from Zingaro. And the fatty is moving out once again. We see some shields plus fatty. Very useful because the fatty really doesn't have too much health. We see 2,000 in the shield. 1300 in the health. That's actually less than just the A on ACU with the shield. And now here comes the fatty. We're going to see a first action. These artillery very vulnerable. Looks like they're going after the fatty. Most of these missed. The fatty is going to play defense here on that other front, and this is a really unfair fight. The fatty is going to demolish this arty. One thing to note, finally Navy here, minute 46. Navy is very powerful in this game, on this map. And you can see here Jughurta putting a whole bunch of mobile shields together with the fatty, each one of these with 4,000 health. You get a big advantage. We see a very similar situation for Zingaro, maybe not quite a few shields. Big air spam, big T3 spam, no second fatty yet. And just a Tech 3 spam, a lot of air spam, and Tech 3 land for both players. So very similar situations in terms of the economies, in terms of their plans. Then very even in terms of map control on the mainland, of course. Still these expansions very valuable for Jughurta, and of course a navy now, with Tech 2 navy with cruisers. Cruisers are very good. They can hit very deep into the base, and a few cruisers in this river would really make this a bad place for Zingaro. Of course there are fatties in the field, so this could be very vulnerable if a fatty moves into this area. Now push from Zingaro, 48. See these shields. Yeah, they are assisting this factory. See all those assist orders for those Percies. and neither player really wants to commit. We see some movements back and forth from Zingaro, and that may be an ASF fight. Looks like definitely numbers for Jughurta. We might see air play a role. A few of those units getting hit. Now this fatty with 29 kills, 42 kills for Zingaros. Some of these Percies are going to have to retreat. They are on the right side of this mountain, however. It's a good placement for Jughurta. See the units for Zingaro getting hit. Now a nuke started for Zingaro. That's going to be very interesting to see how, at what point Jughurta sees that there's a nuke. Some Tech 3 gunships, 5 Tech 3 gunships for Jughurta. He does have more SF. See how well he uses this. The fatties shooting at each other. The fatty for Zingaro's got to be very careful. More Percies for Jughurta. We see this push from Jughurta is getting close to the secret base. They're stealth here, and a second fatty now for Zingaro. Looks like it's mostly Percies. They're not very mobile, so it's hard to do these maneuvers. This fatty will be able to catch up. You can see now the shields are running away ahead. Bit of a mistake perhaps, but now we see these cruisers doing damage. A lot of mass extractors dead. If they can hit this T3 power, will be very good, as well as that factory. But this fatty should be able to solve all these problems at the same time. And perhaps a drop here that we missed. A Percy drop looks like cleaned out that expansion for Jughurta. Good work from Zingaro. And we can see these fatties retreating for Zingaro, which means the fatty for Jughurta is pushing ahead, and this base from Zingaro could be in some danger. We also see some missile launchers. And now a very nice attack here from Jughurta. We do see 2 fatties here, so there's really no reason for Zingaro to be too worried. He just needs to kill everything, but it is taking a little bit of time. And you can see now desperate measures here for Zingaro. These cruise missiles hitting this Tech 3 power, trying to get these missile defenses up, but unsuccessful. The drones are actually going to try to repair it as it's getting hit. 4 cruisers, 5th one on the way. Now we're going to see 2 fatties versus 1, but this one has a whole bunch of shields. One of these fatties already has lost the shield. These shields needs to move up if you're Zingaro. Then a shield for Zingaro. It's going to make the ICU much more difficult to kill. And actually a single fatty forcing 2 to retreat. It's the question of who has more shields, but perhaps a bit of a mistake now. Jughurta having to retreat. And this nuke has been finished for Zingaro, halfway done. Looking back at Jughurta's base, he's finishing his second fatty. His first one is in a little bit of danger of dying. If Percy push, these will most likely die. So Jughurta really needs to start his anti-nuke now if he has any hope of not getting nuked. And our cruisers versus torpedo bombers, you can see some success for those torpedo bombers. But this Tech 3 power has been destroyed. It's a good attack from that Navy. This Percy is actually getting quite deep into this base. That is forcing these fatties to play defense instead of attacking, so a good move. 2 fatties for Jughurta as well. Jughurta is now desperately trying to make an anti-nuke here at minute 55. And the nuke looks like will be done first by Zingaro. So it's a question of where you want to nuke if you're Zingaro. Zingaro might see the structure though right after it's finished, which might make him reluctant to nuke in this area. Then he'll have to nuke somewhere else. But most likely he'll just assume that there is no missile here. You can see this missile takes a little while to build. And the nuke is finished. Already working on the second. And this is going to be pretty desperate times here for Jughurta. We can see scouts now coming in for Zingaro, and there's the nuke. You can see these two fatties. Jughurta sitting. Yeah, there's no chance to get that anti-nuke done in time. And another push from two fatties plus some gunships. And you can see that really devastates the defensive position here for Jughurta. He lost a lot of his Tech 3, actually all of his Tech 3 land production. And here come gunships for Jughurta. They're going after the ACU. The ACU has shields, and actually fatties hitting the ACU as well. Those gunships were killed very quickly, plus some fatties. The ACU can hide under the shield if it needs to, and one of the fatties is killed by some Perseus. So a lot happened there. A nuke plus an attack on Zingaro, but with that shield he did lose about 15,000 health, but that shield has kept him alive. Really not too much danger, and two fatties sacrificed by Jughurta. That was really a bit of an all-in there with those gunships and fatties, but good defense. Looks like Strat bombers. 5 Strat bombers there for Jughurta. It would take multiple passes to kill this ACU with those. And of course, with this much ASF, really not much of a chance to actually get any kind of bombing runs in. Now we see the fatties moving in to Jughurta's base. It's not looking very good. He's trying to make ASF, perhaps a misdirection to get the Air Force from Zingaro to move somewhere else, and yeah, torpedo bombers versus engineers. But these 3 fatties now, really no defense against those 4 Jughurta, so if he's going to do anything, he's going to have to do it now. He is moving in a whole bunch of ASF. He's going to spot the ACU. Shield's halfway. He's going to get some Tech 2 shield plus some stealth. You see the ASF here for Zingaro is going to move. He did see those scouts, so he's going to attempt to intercept any kind of bombing runs. Here are the Strat bombers for Jughurta. Now the fatties are getting close to the Suntank. Once they kill that, I expect a second nuke from Zingaro. Here come the Strat bombers. That was the worst possible pass for those Strat bombers. Not a single bomb will be dropped. It just flew into a cloud of SF, so absolutely no attacking options now for Jughurta. All he has is an option to die, so we'll see how he does that. He's going to attack with the ACU against those fatties. That's going to really suck for him. He's trying to dodge the shots. He's successful, some of them. And I hear just a little bit after an hour, Jughurta is beaten by Lucian, so hopefully people enjoyed this one. A nice UEF on UEF battle.